ARK 2 was supposed to be the sequel to the wildly popular ARK Survival Evolved, but with the amount of delays, secrecy, and mistrust surrounding ARK 2, it is doomed to fail. ARK 2 was first announced in 2020 at the Game Awards, but due to the COVID pandemic, they ended up delaying it to 2023, and then in March of 2023, it got delayed to late 2024. And as of most recently, according to Digital Domain, it is set to release in the spring of 2025. But with this information, there is a slight problem. Studio Wildcard, the developers of ARK, claim that it hasn't been delayed. They say that they had no idea where that came from and that it was likely just a typo, but it is a bit tough to believe that it was just a typo. In their annual report, Digital Domain says spring of 2025 and Studio Wildcard is claiming late 2024. So if it was a typo with the year number, then it would say spring of 2024, which still doesn't line up with what Wildcard is saying. And even if they somehow mistyped the season, then it would still be in the year 2025. So it is very hard to believe that there would have been a typo in both the year number and season name. And this is a really bad look for Wildcard, as it makes it seem like they're out of the loop with their own game. With all of these delays, the ARK community has obviously become very upset, as they now have to wait potentially 2 more years for something that was supposed to come out last year. So, Wildcard announced ARK 1.5, also known as ARK Survival Ascended, which is supposed to be a stepping stone until they can get ARK 2 finished. It is supposed to release towards the end of August of 2023, and so far hasn't been delayed yet. But ARK 1.5 in itself has brought many problems, which we will get into later in the video. There has been a lot of secrecy surrounding ARK 2 and ARK 1.5, with the players barely getting any information on these new games. Despite ARK 2 having been supposed to be released last year, there is still no gameplay footage or any significant information that will lead someone to want to buy it. All there is a trailer starring Vin Diesel, and despite being the president of Creative Convergence and executive producer of ARK 2, he hasn't revealed too much about the game either. In fact, he's barely even mentioned it. Other than just concept art and the trailer, there is still no information on ARK 2. And the situation is very similar with ARK 1.5, with there only being pictures of items with upgraded graphics, but still no gameplay or even any screenshots showing what these things will look like in the game. And the concerning part is that the release of ARK 1.5 is only about 2 months away, unless it gets delayed, which is quite likely considering their track record. A very popular ARK YouTuber named Bam said in a tweet, "ARK is getting bad, boys and girls. Windows is cheater heaven, whitelist doesn't work on Steam, no ARK 1.5 gameplay, no ARK 2 gameplay, ARK 2 delayed all the way till 2025, no dev communication of issues or addressing anything that could help people feel happy, it's just going bad." He addressed the lack of communication about ARK 1.5 and ARK 2, and also mentioned some other big problems the game is facing and how the devs haven't done or said anything about them. From cheating on their own game since the beginning, to lying about the future of ARK, Snail Games, the publisher of ARK, and Studio Wildcard have both lost the trust of the community, and this could all lead to the doom of ARK 2. Starting with the beginning, the CEO of Snail Games, Shi Hai, has been exposed to cheat on his own game. In leaked chat and voice recordings, it can be seen that he is telling admins and developers to spawn and loot for the Chinese megatribe T, and they also have been exposed for crashing servers on purpose to save their tribe whenever they get attacked. This leak reads, "I'm erasing the server rollback and the wipe of A-Team. I will be online in about 20 minutes. Mr. Shi, good morning. Wildcard has already rolled back server 371, but we are getting feedback from the community that they think T has uncommon relationships with Wildcard. So it is clear that this wasn't going under the radar. The community was definitely noticing, so what did they do to try and solve this? Well, even more logs show how they plan to frame and blackmail one of the founders of Wildcard and blame him for the cheating going on. So when these messages got leaked, it made the community very skeptical towards Snail Games. And even though this was many years ago, similar activities are still happening to this day. One example is when over 100 players were banned at once on the Conquest servers, which are fully run and operated by Snail Games. The players got banned for attacking T, and some of these players included large YouTubers like Xfibo and Shockus, who both recorded it and posted videos going into more detail. And another example showing some of the secrecy is when Bam said, "Mans doesn't post for a whole week, even after all the controversial stuff that could ruin ARK's reputation, posts about new dinos instead." The person who is responding to is a community manager for Wildcard, and he is referring to the situation on the Conquest servers. This further proves that both Snail Games and Wildcard have been hiding stuff, and how this has been leading to an increased mistrust with both of these companies. And while all of this is bad for ARK 1, there are more lies that could affect the future. In a previous tweet, one of the leaders and co-founders of Wildcard stated that the upgrade to Unreal Engine 5, which is ARK 1.5, will be completely free. But in a later community crunch, it stated that people would have to rebuy the game and all the DLCs just to play it, and also have to buy ARK 2 without actually knowing anything about it or getting any gameplay. Basically a gamble. Wildcard received a ton of backlash for this, with one Reddit user saying, "Thing is, it's not about the price. I'd gladly support Wildcard. That is, if it was really for Wildcard, but going back on promises, repeat delays, game has been broken since day one, and now they want us to pay for the revamp and all the DLCs again." This prompted a response from Wildcard, and in the next community crunch, they said they would split ARK Ascended and ARK 2 and make Ascended and all the DLCs cost $60, which is $30 less than before, but doesn't include ARK 2. This was a step forward, but still got many mixed reviews from the community. On top of this, Wildcard have recently been exposed for lying about ARK 1.5. In a tweet by Captain Fat Dog, he says, "Studio Wildcard, if your selling point for ARK Survival Ascended structures is that things fit in them better, maybe you shouldn't shrink them down on the ARK Survival Evolved images." And this is very concerning if they're even lying in the pictures that are supposed to show how great ARK 1.5 is, just 2 months away from its supposed release date. So, if ARK 2 had been delayed to the point that they needed to make another game to fill the gap, and they have been lying about that game as well, the future of ARK doesn't seem good at all. On top of the fact that Snail Games has been cheating in ARK 1 since the beginning, and will likely continue to do so in ARK 1.5 and ARK 2.